It is game on for Netflix. Shares rallying today as the company makes a big push into gaming. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we're getting new numbers on a big fan event Netflix held over the weekend. Let's get to Julia Boorstin with the details. Julia.
Well, Melissa, Netflix just now announcing that its fan event called Ta-Dum on Saturday drew 25.7 million views across its YouTube channels, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok, and tadum.com, with all of the clips and trailers generating 300 million views on social media. Now, this after Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos said Monday at the Code Conference that the streaming giant wants to invest even more in content and in games. And then last night, the company announced its first big game acquisition, buying developer Night School. It's known for narrative titles such as Oxenfree. It's a supernatural adventure game. And these games are available on Sony's PlayStation, Microsoft's Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, along with PCs. But Netflix also rolled out 5 mobile gaming titles in some European markets. Stifel's saying that Netflix's expansion into gaming is a natural extension of its large original content, saying they, quote, view gaming as an incremental medium for Netflix to differentiate from its competition and to add value to its subscriber base. I also spoke to Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar at the Code Conference. He told me that gaming would also be a big part of their future, and he didn't rule out including games in HBO Max. Melissa?
It's just interesting, Julia, because I think it was maybe a year ago on a conference call, Netflix, Reed Hastings had said something to the effect of it's a competition for eyeballs. We don't think about competition as other streamers per se, but anything that takes you away, including gaming. And now they're going more heavily into this.
Yes, I remember he also said that their main competition was sleep. So I think the idea is that not only are they competing with gaming, but also that they want to make sure that their subscription offer has so much value that even if you've watched the latest season of Stranger Things, then maybe if that's really what your passion is for, you could stick around, play the Stranger Things game. So it's all about adding value to that subscriber base.
I wonder what a Bridgerton game would be. Julia, we might soon find out. Thank you, Julia Boorstin. Guy Adami, you like this sort of extension into gaming?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that last comment out. I'll probably best that I don't comment on that. You know, a lot of people would say style drift and they're getting away from their core competency. I say horse hockey to that. Reed Hastings is a genius, and they're getting into things that they should be getting into. This stock traded sideways from last July until recently. This move above 600 is a breakout. So this is as important a quarter they're going to report, just given where the stock is, I think, on October 14th. And I absolutely think they're on the right track, and you stay with the name and their earnings.
If I'm a Netflix bear, I think not only are they going to spend so much money on content, but they're spending even more on content through games. Doesn't this just sort of stress them even further when it comes to their capital needs, Grasso?
No, they had to do this. This is something where, as you said, that's where my mind went when we heard it originally from them, that they had to get into gaming. Also, Julia said that they're rolling out some test markets in Europe. In a normalized world, that's a $7.8 billion revenue area. So I think this could lead them to better roads to catch what they do in North America, but they had to do this. Why doesn't GameStop have a streaming service? This is also where it went. This is where GameStop is. Blockbuster, they have the potential. They have an agreement with Twitch. I know they have a JV there, but this is where they should be going. This was an absolute home run. This is like Apple Arcade for Apple. Netflix had to do this. This is just another way of them creating some momentum behind the name and the hours viewed.
It's interesting to think about this landscape. I mean, Julia was talking about Warner Media also looking into games. If all of these streamers are also then going into games, Tim, what does it tell you about the viability of streaming itself?
Well, look, I think, you know, the death of linear TV, the streaming competition, the engagement factor that gaming brings to anybody, I think this is, I'm in agreement with all the bulls here. And I haven't been a Netflix bull. I think you've got a case here where adding this as no additional cost to a platform, and yes, there will be some cost to creating their own content, but again, they highlighted, they focused on Night School's artistic excellence, and that they are their first gamer. And it was one thing for Reed Hastings to talk about gaming a month or two ago, and the market gave it a little bit of a boost. But this is enough, along with the recent breakout above 560, as we've talked about on the charts. I think Netflix is going higher, and I think it should go higher.
I know you just said, Karen, that you didn't like the N in Fang. Could you like Netflix? Seeing their moves here,
Well,
what the broader sort of vision is?
Yes, I mean, ever since they switched from being a mail the discs, to people and get them back to content, which I was amazed really worked, I could never count them out. This seems very smart. It seems very logical. It makes sense to me as an extension. I think that surprising to me that who makes this content, the Take-Two's, the Electronic Arts of the world, why? I'm surprised none of them have been acquired. So, because if this hunt for content to have for gaming, that is where I think people would go, but those are expensive. And then just one other point, there is, I think, a Bridgerton game, but I think it's a different channel, and I think it's a pay-per-view. It's just
and
a
I
guess.
think it's
I don't
not
know.
for our audience.